Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pits, the Motorcast. This is your host, Dave. Got on the line with special guest, Pro Mod driver, Aaron Glaser of the Two-Face Pro Mod car. How's it going, Aaron?
Good, man. Good. How are you?
I'm good. So, how's the weather out in Kentucky?
It's good. It's hot, but it's that time of year. So I'll take it.
It's about 71 here in Illinois. So
yeah, it's about the same here. It's mid-70s, so it's not too bad, but it's supposed to warm up for the weekend.
Yeah. So, Aaron, first question is, how did you get involved in drag racing?
It's in my blood, man. It's family. I grew up in an automotive family. Grew up with my dad. My dad raced as long as I can remember. You know, he started out street racing when he was a kid, and then he got into drag racing. So, I mean, my earliest memories, you know, running around the drag strip with him, and he had a 67 Camaro at Fracker Race at the local track. And, you know, spent my childhood every single weekend at the racetrack. And then when I was younger, Junior Dragsters came out, so I started driving. I was about 12 years old when I started driving, and like I said, just every weekend my whole life's been at the drag strip. It's all I know.
So how many years did you do the Junior Dragster racing?
I started that when I was 12. You know, I raced that till I was 16, so, you know, did 4 years of that. Then when I was 16, like I said, I was real fortunate. My dad had a 67 Camaro, so, you know, he let me take the wheels of that. So that's the car I learned to drive in, and then just worked my way up through the ranks ever since then.
So after the Camaro, what other vehicles have you driven in?
I started out when I was 16. Well, he had a Camaro. My sister had a Super Custom dragster, so I drove both of them. And I don't know, I'm just a door car guy. I love door cars. You know, faster door cars. Man, there's just something about it. So drove the dragster and drove his car, and the dragster did nothing for me. So I stuck with door cars and drove his car for a little while, and then stepped up to a 63 Corvette. Ran super gas in NHRA for probably about 2 years. You know, cut my teeth just learning to drive a door car. And after that, we stepped up to Top Sportsman, and I stayed in Top Sportsman for probably about 20 years. You know, stepped up through. Started with a 63 Corvette, and then we went to a 68 Camaro, had a couple 68 Camaros, and then the car we're driving now, the 69 Jerry Bickle car, I got it in 2013, had it ever since then, and it's just a bad car. I mean, that thing's just freaking awesome, which I'm making it look bad this year because we're really struggling, but that car's been a really, really good car for us, and that's our main car right now, is the Camaro.
So now, when you purchased that car, you changed you put a wrap on it, right? The two-face wrap.
No, actually, it's not a wrap. Like I said, I'm a body guy. You know, grew up in the body shop. That's what I do for a living. So, you know, I started painting cars when I was a kid. You know, I was junior drag racing. I was painting all my buddies' junior dragsters, and that's how I helped fund my deal. And I painted race cars for 20 years, painting them for a long time, and I'm at the point now where I got 3 kids at home and trying to run a business and my own race program. I don't have time to do it anymore, so I do my car and a few buddies, but traditionally that's, you know, I've been a race car painter, and I worked at the body shop during the day and painted race cars at night, and that's how I funded my habit. But saying all that to say, I'm a painter. I like having nice paint on my cars, and the paint job that's on it, I repainted it last year and put the paint job on it. The paint job that's on the right side. Spent a ton of time on it, painted it, made it nice, and then over the winter, I went through the whole car, painted the chassis, put new high ends in it, you know, shock struts, totally rebuilt the car. Went to the first NMCA race this year and spun it around sideways and smacked the wall, tore the whole side out of it. And, dude, I was sick. I mean, just upset. You know, that's my baby anyway, my car, but, you know, spent all that time repainting it and making it nice and rebuilding it, and I tore it all up, so, you know, it was upsetting, but, you know, that's part of racing. So we spent, you know, me and Dad just hustled. I mean, we spent a lot of time up at the shop, and our goal was to make the next NMCA race. So, you know, we put a new quarter on it. I fixed the door in the front end. You know, a few minor things on the chassis, but the main part of the chassis was good. You know, wheels, tires, wheelie bars, wishbone. A lot of it was tore up, but we got it all fixed in time to make Bowling Green. But a couple days before the race, I didn't have time to paint it. So we primered the car. We primered all the damaged part, and it was just black primer. So the whole right side of the car was nice, pretty shiny paint. The whole left side was primer. Like I said, I'm a painter. It was just killing me. I hated it. So I thought about wrapping it. I thought about painting one solid color, didn't know what to do, and buddy of mine was over, and we just kind of talking. He was being a smart aleck. He said just take a rattle can and paint it, and I don't know, the idea just came to me right there. So we got together, and that's the whole left side. That's real graffiti. That's spray can rattle paint graffiti on the car, and when we did that, that's how we came up with the two-face idea. So the whole left side spray paint graffiti, and the whole right side nice shiny traditional automotive paint, and we put a two-face decal on the hood, and that's how the two-face theme came to be. It was kind of an accident, but now that it's done, it's kind of cool, and it's taken on a life of its own. Everybody seems to like it.
Oh yeah, are you a big Batman fan too?
Yeah, I got two young boys at home, so with the young boys, we do the superhero thing. We watch all the Avengers and Batman movies, and we're into the superheroes, so it's kind of cool. It fits in with us.
Yeah, I know that there's already a couple Batman pro-mads out there already.
Yeah, there's a couple Batman ones, so Two-Face, I guess I get to be the villain.
Yeah, exactly. Now you gotta go race them guys, Wesley Jones and who's the other guy, Jerick, whatever his name is. I can't.
Yeah, Jericho.
Yeah, Jericho. There you go.
Car. Yeah, they got the Batman cars. I don't know. Maybe we need to get together and just have a match race with them.
Yeah. Good versus evil.
Oh yeah, they're good people.
So now for the current car you're driving, what's been the quickest pass you made with that car?
That car, I'm still in the learning curve. Cause I'm a traditionally top fortune racer. I love fast door cars, but I'm just an average dude who works really hard to be able to afford this stuff. So I don't have big sponsors. I don't have deep pockets. So I can't afford to go out and burn this thing up. So we're kind of taking baby steps and trying to learn what we're doing and learn how to go fast on our own. And like I said, everything we do, it's just me and my dad. We do all the maintenance, all the tuning, everything on it. But we've been in the low 380s with it. We've run a bunch of 383s, 384s, and like I said, my goal is to get in the 70s, to be able to compete. We run a lot of NMCA Pro Mods, so to compete with those guys, I feel like I need to get in the high 70s. But working on our consistency and getting there right now. This year's been rough on us. We went to Glot earlier in the year and tested and didn't do very well. And then went to Atlanta and crashed. And then went to Bowling Green and didn't qualify. Last weekend we did this PDRA race, and I'm very confident we found our problem. We found a wiring issue that I think's been plaguing us all year. So I got the motor broke down right now, just going through, checking everything out and maintenance in the car. I'm going to go out and try and find a race somewhere next week to go test it. I really feel like we found the issue, so we're going to try and get back on track and hopefully have a competitive car for the rest of the year.
Sounds good. Well, if there's anyone out there listening right now who wants to sponsor the car, feel free. He'll take sponsors.
Yeah, we could use some support. Like I said, it's all funded out of my pocket, but man, it's just labor love. I mean, actually, I just got home from the shop. Me and Dad was up there working on it. I mean, we do everything in house. We bought the car from Bickle, but we do all the updating, like the motor training work. It's tuning. It's just something we love to do. Just eat up with it, man. I just love fast door cars.
Right. So let's talk about the car a little bit. What kind of motor you got under the hood?
We've got a Billy Albert built it. Billy Albert Racing Engines. Man, he's a bad dude. He's the one guy that's kind of helped steer me in the right direction and helped keep me on the straight and narrow. But he built the motor for it. It's a 903. So I mean, we're kind of undergunned because a lot of the guys are running 959, but 903. Like I said, it's been a real good motor for us. I mean, we've, knock on wood, haven't hurt it much, and it's been a very good, reliable piece for it. 903, we got 4 systems on it. Like I said, been a great piece. We run a Tutaro lockup in it, and a Linko Neil Chance converter, Bickle car. So, got a bunch of good parts on it, and like I said, usually it's a good, reliable car. We've just been struggling here the last couple of races, but we'll get it ironed out.
Now, you run on nitrous oxide?
Yep. Yeah, 4 systems of nitrous. Yep, got 4 systems of Speedtech nitrous on it. We're probably gonna put a 5th on it over the winter, just trying to give us a little bit more oomph. But running 4 systems on it, and that's the hard part with these cars, man, we're trying to throw everything to it early. You know, we got a 903 cubic inch motor, and by 1.2 seconds, you've got 4 systems of nitrous on, 2 stages of lockup, and usually a shift point. So trying to throw that much power to the tire and to the track all in 1.2 seconds, it's, you know, power management's big in these cars because they got a lot of power, and trying to put all that stuff together and make it stick to the track that fast, it's a challenge.
Right. So what do you run on? Hoosier tires?
Yeah, Hoosier Tire. I've been a Hoosier Tire guy for years. They're the best tire out there. Yep, the 1734 Hoosier, darn good tire.
Yeah, we got a group of fast guys out here in the Midwest called those Chicago Wise guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they got all different kinds of cars in the group. They got blower, blown alcohol. You got naturally aspirated. You got double turbo, nitrous oxide, everything. Whatever.
Everything.
Yeah, they invite all the different cars into the group.
Yeah.
Then the guy that runs is Pete Demos. He's been doing it for 24 years this year. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Real good group of guys though. Actually, you know Michael Riccia?
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to be in the Chicago Wise guys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, traditionally he runs in PDRA. I haven't seen him this year, so I don't know what he's doing now, but yeah, he's been running that Pro Extreme deal there the last several years. So.
Yeah. So for you have any drivers that were inspirational to you, like back years ago?
You know, when I was a kid, you know, I've always been into pro mod stuff. Just love it. So I mean, I grew up just, you know, guys like Scotty Cannon and Shannon Jenkins. I mean, they were my heroes. You know, I was never into the basketball thing or football or nothing like that. Just, you know, I grew up thinking Scotty Cannon and Shannon Jenkins and Tommy Mooney, and you know, those guys were it. You know, that was badass back in the day. You know, it's growing up looking up to those guys, and you know, it's still pretty surreal. You know, every now and then pull up in the lanes against, you know, Tommy Mooney still runs and Shannon Jenkins, and you know, just to be in the same lanes as those guys. Sometimes it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, childhood dream, I guess.
Right. So now for you, what was it like to get behind the wheel for the first time in a car you're currently driving?
What's that?
I said, what was it like to get behind the wheel for the first time in a car that you're currently driving in?
Oh, it's awesome. Like I said, I've been fortunate. We've had some cool cars over the years, but the 69 that I'm driving now, I mean, it's an unbelievable car. I mean, it just, as long as I don't screw it up, that car's going down the racetrack. I mean, that thing just, it drives like a Cadillac, and I don't know, you just let go of that trans brake, that dude pins you back in the seat. It's just, it's an awesome feeling. I mean, it's absolutely awesome. And we've got a 68 Firebird too, another Jerry Bickle car we run in Top Sportsman, and the chassis are pretty much identical. The cars were built about 6 months apart at Jerry Bickle's shop. The chassis are pretty much identical. One's like I said, the Top Sportsman car is a Firebird, but you know, it's the same boat. You know, both those cars just, you know, I can't say enough about the Bickle car there, and just the attention to detail and craftsmanship. They really show in the performance of the car, because you can make a minor adjustment in a shock or a strut, or you know, any adjustment you make, you see it in the performance of the car. Just, it's really amazing how well the cars perform. They're nice pieces.
Yeah, but how was it? How was it for you getting behind the wheel for the first time driving the car?
Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome. You know, first time I drove a door car, I was 16, like I said, jumped in Dad's Camaro. And, you know, just 16-year-old kid, I didn't know what I was doing, and you know, lined the thing up crooked, and damn near took out the 60-foot cones where it launched crooked, and you know, it's definitely a learning curve. I mean, it's, you know, from the stands, it looks like you're going straight, but man, you got to work your way up to the fast ones, because they're a handful driving them down the track. But yeah, they're a blast to drive, man. They're fun to drive.
Right. So now, since you've been doing this pro mod driving, have you got any advice from any of the other drivers that have been out there?
Yeah. I mean, that's one cool thing about drag racing is, you know, most everybody out there is really cool. I mean, when we pull up start line and helmets on, you know, I'm going to rip your face off. But when we're back in the pits, man, it's a big family. I mean, if one guy's struggling, I mean, everybody kind of jumps in and helps, and you know, it's there's a lot of good competition, but it's good sportsmanship. You know, a lot of them guys out there, you know, they'll help you when they're down. And you know, actually, when I crashed the car in Atlanta, David Monday runs Pro Mod NMCA, and you know, he was one of the first guys to come over and talk to me. And you know, guys like that are what makes this deal so awesome. You know, we crashed the car and tore it up. And, you know, I'm upset and down on my luck, and he's a chassis builder, and he had the body panels I needed sitting in his shop. You know, so after he came over and told me, dude, if you want to get it together, I've got the parts you need, call me. So I went back to the shop, took the car apart, called him on Monday. He had the parts, so I drove down there, and, you know, he said, dude, you're down on your luck. Here they are. You can have them. I mean, just gave me the parts, didn't charge me a dime for them. And, you know, that's awesome for somebody to do something like that. I mean, you know, he's just trying to help one of his competitors, that's down on his luck get back on the track. You know, and, you know, racing with guys like that, it's really cool. You know, there's guys like Jason Harris, you know, he's been doing the fast door thing for a while, and, you know, he gives me a lot of advice and helps me out when I need it. And, you know, even Keith Haney, you know, when I stepped up to Pro Mod, you know, he was the first guy to come over and shake my hand and welcome me to the class. And like I said, it's a really good group of guys. Like I said, everybody's competitive. Everybody wants to win, and it's very, very competitive. But you know, off the track, man, they're all awesome guys.
Yeah, that's what everyone always says. Drag racing is just one big family.
And that's right. It's one big family. Everybody helps each other. Everybody looks out for each other, and that's part of what makes it. That's part of what makes it great.
Now, besides your dad, when you go out racing, who are the other crew members?
It's my deal. It's a family deal. You know, it's me and Dad, and you know, like I said, I'm fortunate. My family's just as into it as I am. So when I leave to go to the track, you know, Dad goes with me all the time. My wife, same deal. She goes to a lot of them, but she can't go to all of them. We got 3 kids, so if the kids are in school, she stays back at home. But you know, she's awesome, very supportive of this deal. And you know, my mom, same deal. She goes with me all the time. She downloads the race pack in the car. She runs a weather station for us. You know, she keeps us going. So that's it. It's the four of us that do this whole thing. And you know, it's tough. It really is, because man, trying to run a car like this, the maintenance it takes, you know, it gets us down sometimes just because it's so much work. And it'd be nice to have an extra set of hands sometimes, but you know, it is what it is. It's just me and Dad and my wife and my mom, and you know, we do it because we love it. And I got a couple buddies a couple local buddies. They'll come over and shop and help me do stuff on the cars from time to time. So you know, we couldn't do it without the help of them too. But yeah, I mean, race to race, it's me and my old man just doing all the work and maintenance. That's it.
Yeah, but it's probably nice though to see your dad at the start line and see him at the end of the track too.
Oh yeah, and that's, you know, like I said, that's why we do it. You know, I mean, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. You know, I grew up spending every weekend at the racetrack with my dad, and now that I'm older and got 3 kids, you know, me and my dad and my boys jump in the truck. You know, we get to travel around the country and race fast cars, and you know, it's built a bond between, you know, me and my dad and my kids that just, you know, like I said, we spend every weekend together. It don't get any cooler than that, you know.
So now, how old are your 3 kids, Aaron?
My one boy's driving junior dragsters. He's 13, and then my other boy's young. He's 4, and then I got a 2-year-old daughter. She doesn't go a whole lot, but you know, she goes a little bit. As she's getting older, she'll start going more and more. But yeah, I got 3 of them. They're a handful, but like I said, my little 4-year-old, he's as eat up with it as the rest of us. I mean, if I go to the track without him, he's mad. He wants to go to the racetrack. He friggin' loves it. Just, you know, my kids, they got it in their blood just like I do.
Right. So how long has the 13-year-old been doing the junior dragster for?
I put my boy in the junior when he was 8, and like I said, he's been running ever since, and he'll stay in until he's 16. And actually, I just bought him a '67 Camaro super stock car, and you know, the car needs some work, so it's going to be our project. We're working on going through it now, and we'll spend the next couple of years building it. That way, when he's 16, he'll start out in that. We're in the process of stripping it and painting it right now, and we got to go through the motor and do a few safety upgrades. So, it'll take us. Like I said, it'll probably take us 2 years time we get it where we want it. But like I said, he'll have him a nice car when he turns 16 to cut his teeth in.
Well, I'll have to get your son on here sometime to interview.
Oh yeah, he'll like it. He'll like it. He's like that. He's big into basketball in the winter and spring, and then once basketball's over, race season kicks in. And like I said, he did real good that PDRA race up there in Martin last weekend. We went up there and testing. We blew his motor up, and so that was kind of disappointing. But Blossom Race Engines, the guy who builds junior motors, he's only about an hour north of the track. So Thursday night we drove up there and we bored it and put a bigger piston in it, rod and bearings, and we was at his shop till 11 o'clock at night rebuilding the motor, and came back Friday, threw it on the car, and he drove like a champ. He got down to the semifinals and doing the burnout, broke a clutch in his car, and so kind of bummed out. He lost because he had a broke clutch, but yeah, he was doing real good. He was doing real good till the car gave up on him.
So now, Aaron, when you get ready to take this car out for a weekend of drag racing, what goes into preparation for you to get ready?
Oh man, a lot, a whole lot. Yeah, these things. That's the thing about these fast door cars, man. It's a lot of it. Preparation at the track. I mean, it's amazing how much work goes into these cars. I mean, the car right now, we thought we heard it last week, but we weren't sure. So I mean, I've got the entire motors. It's a bare block right now. I mean, we gutted the motor top to bottom, going through every single piece. The crank's out getting magged right now, checking for cracks, checking rings, checking bearings. I mean, we haven't found anything hurt, but, we gutted the whole motor just to check, and we don't do that every race, but, as hard as we're spraying it, about every other race, we knock it down, take the motor all the way down, check rings and bearings, because after a couple races, it's going to need rings. I mean, 2 races on a set of rings are knocked out of it, so at least every other race we're tearing the motor down, ringing it, bearing it. Maintenance on these things, like I said, just huge. Linko's out of the car. Same deal. I don't do it every race, but about every other race I'll pull the Linko out, check snap rings in it, because them Linkos throw snap rings out of it a lot. Check the bearings, check sprags. Converters out of it all the time. We're constantly taking a converter out, changing stators in it, and rear end. About every 3 or 4 races we'll pull the rear end out of it, check the ring gear, make sure it's not broke, and every single race we go over the car front to back with wrenches, checking for loose bolts, checking for stuff, and just maintenance is huge. And on top of all that, you got to pump nitrous, and we spend a lot of money on this stuff, so we try to maintenance it. I mean, truck and trailer doesn't leave unless it's washed, car's washed and clean, and that's part of these race operations. People that don't do it, that's what you don't understand. I mean, there's so much maintenance. I mean, even a truck and trailer, generators on the trucks and trailers, you got to change oil in them, change oil in the golf carts. Just, man, it seems like the maintenance never ends. Last race we got home from the right front wheel on my truck, got grease all over the wheel, so, probably knocked the seal or something out of the truck axle, so I got to pull it apart and maintenance it. It's a lot of work. I mean, you really better love what you're doing, because you're going to spend a lot of time working on it, but like I said, it's an obsession. It's what we do, and a lot of little stuff you can do at the shop helps at the track. I mean, we'll sit and index all the plugs in at the shop, and do all the little stuff like that. That way, when you're at the track, you're just rolling through and maintenance in, and you're not not behind the 8 ball.
Right. So now, what are some of your favorite tracks to run on?
One of my favorites is the Martin, Michigan we just got back from. Martin, Michigan, up at US 131. I've been racing there forever, back in the IHRA days, and we've had a lot of luck there. I mean, we've won a lot of top sports and races there, so I love that track. Bristol, haven't raced there in a while. Bristol's always fun. As far as 8th mile tracks, Galat down there, the Galat Motorsports Park, and you're not gonna find a nicer track. I mean, that's an awesome track. Love going to that place. So, there's a bunch of good ones out there. We've traditionally been running the PDRA. Love the PDRA. Great group of people. But it's kind of gravitated to an East Coast series, and it's everywhere we go, 14-hour drives. And like I said, we're just a small team like us, and the long drives are getting hard on us. That's why we switched over to NMCA this year. we're hitting a few PDRAs, but concentrating on NMCA because they're all within most of them are about a 5 to 6 hour drive. So it's cutting down on the drive time, just makes it a little easier to us getting to and from the races. And so far we've had a great time at the NMCA races. They're well run events, and getting to meet some different people and compete against the people we haven't run against. So it's been a fun deal. Like I said, they've all been nice tracks, and actually we're coming up close to your way. I guess we're coming up to that Chicago Route 66 next month for the next NMCA race.
Is that the Super Bowl?
Yep. Yeah, I'll be up there for that the NMCA Super Bowl.
So now what do you prefer, Aaron? A quarter mile or 1/8 mile?
I like 1/8 mile. I mean, quarter mile's cool. I don't have nothing against it, but I've been with PDRA and a lot of the local pro mod stuff around here is all 1/8 mile. So I'm just so used to 1/8 mile that I enjoy 1/8 mile racing, and especially like the PDRA Top Sportsman's awesome. I run a lot of Top Sportsmen over there, and when you're running 1/8 mile, you're dialing in at 390s bracket racing, and I mean try to cut a light on the guy and then drive the big end when you're going that fast. It's awesome. I mean it's a real challenge because, like I said, to try and make the car repeatable, trying to dial the car in, and trying to bracket race going that fast, it's a blast. It's fun. I really enjoy the 1/8 mile stuff, and I've been doing it so long. The few times I do quarter mile now, once you get past the 1/8 mile mark, I don't want to say it's boring because you're in a race car and going fast, so it's still cool. But you get so used to 1/8 mile that when you're doing quarter mile, the second 1/8, like the cars by then the cars calm down. So the first 1/8 miles were all the action, and cars trying to go this way or that way, and you're shifting and turning everything on. And once you go past the 1/8 mile mark, everything's calmed down. So you're just kind of along for the ride then. So it's cool because you're going fast, but it's just you're just riding at that point. So I like the 1/8 mile stuff. That's what we do a lot of, and the other good thing about it, the 1/8 mile is a lot easier on parts. When you're spraying stuff as hard as we are, and trying to lean on it, and that extra 1/8 mile, it really beats up some parts. So it's easier on the wallet running 1/8 mile stuff.
Right. So now, where do you get all your safety stuff from?
All my fire suits, seatbelts, all that stuff, shroud safety. And those guys, they build good stuff, and I've been using their stuff forever. And I'm big on safety. That's one thing I've always been pretty big on. I really kind of go, I guess, overboard with it. I got the Dash 20 gloves and the Dash 20 boots. We don't have to run it with what we're doing, but man, after seeing Lyle Barrett's deal where he got burned up in that small tire car, and man, carrying all this nitrous, and man, anything can happen. So going fast is cool, but I don't want to get hurt doing it. So I try and buy the best safety stuff I can buy. Like I said, I got the Dash 20 stuff. I got the eject system on my helmet, and we run the ISP lateral head pads, the pour-in seats, and we try to run the best safety stuff we can. Got a Hans device, and, new Simpson helmet. Just got to be safe doing it. Got to be safe doing it because these things, they're a handful, so you don't want to get hurt.
Right, exactly. So now, Aaron, what would you consider to be some of the milestones of your drag racing career?
I've been fortunate. I've had a good career so far. Except we started out in the juniors, and we had some good success there. And we stepped up and ran super gas, and really when we hit Top Sportsman, that's kind of, I don't know. I guess that's when I kind of came into my own. I guess I loved it and had a real passion for it, and we had a lot of success at Top Sportsman, and we ran some iTray stuff for a long time back when back in the 2000s when iTray was a lot bigger. We won the Division III championship twice in Top Sportsman, and we was pretty proud of that at the time. That was a big deal for us, and we ran national points a couple times and never won a national championship over there, but we was in the top 5 several times in the world, and that was pretty cool for us. But I guess the biggest thing for us was 2013. Before the ADRL folded, I guess it was the last real year of the ADRL. We ran that whole circuit and ended up winning the Top Sportsman World Championship in 2013, and that was I guess the height of the height of it all. You know, that was always a goal. You know, winning. You know, like I said, we won some divisional championships, and we were fortunate to win some really cool races over the years. But you know, always chased a world championship. In 2013, we was able to seal the deal and got a world championship, and that was pretty cool. That was a big accomplishment for us because there's a lot of people running the class at the time. You know, it was Bruce Thrift and Lizzie Musey and William Brown and John Lassiter. There was a bunch of very talented drivers, and to be able to come out on top after a whole year and win the world, that was it for us. That was pretty cool. And then shortly after that, that's when we started. We got a bigger engine and started dabbling in a pro mod deal. So, like I said, haven't set the world on fire with the stuff, but like I said, we've pro mod side, we've qualified well at several races, and like I said, working on getting our consistency down, and we'll hopefully be getting some pro mod wins here for too long.
Yep. So now, would you consider that win in 2013 your fondest memory of your drag racing career?
Yeah, I'd say so, because it was, like I said, that was a dream for probably 15 years, trying to win a world championship, and it was. Yeah, I still remember it vividly. We drove all the way to Texas, and there was 4 of us that still mathematically had a chance at it. And like I said, a couple of them, Cheyenne Stanley and Bruce Thrift, they're good buddies of mine, and they were in the hunt. And rounds after a couple rounds, everybody was out but me and Cheyenne, and I lost second or third round. I can't remember, and he was still in, and he had to win the race to pass me in the points, and he got all the way to the finals and ended up losing the finals and couldn't pass us in the points. And like I said, it was pretty awesome. That's probably the height of our career.
Now, Aaron, besides the one accident you were talking about earlier that took out the one side of your car, have you had any other accidents throughout your drag racing career?
I've been pretty fortunate, not too much. The Corvette that I started racing top sportsman in, my first top sportsman car, we had an incident with it, and down at our local track, we were down there running and got some liquid under the tires and spun it sideways and knocked the front end off of it. Like I said, didn't get hurt, fortunately, but took the fiberglass body off, and we had to put a front clip on it. So that was probably early 2000s, maybe about 2001, somewhere around there. Like I said, we did that, and then the Atlanta race about 2 months ago, like the car spun around and the whole left side smacked against the wall. And fortunately, those are the only 2 mishaps I've had. We've been pretty lucky over, I've been racing since I was 12, so, over a 25-year career, I guess only 2 mishaps isn't too bad.
No, knock on wood, there'll be no more accidents for you.
Yeah, hopefully that's the last one, because it's not fun. Like I said, it was a ton of work after this last one. It was a ton of work putting it back together. A lot of work and a lot of money putting it back together. But like I said, it came out all right. Like the two-face thing, everybody likes it. I'm going to run with it for the end of the year, and I'll repaint the car over the winter. I don't know what I'll do to it yet, but I'll strip it down and put another paint job on it.
Well, what if the people love that one too much? You're not going to keep Two-Face?
I don't know what we'll do. I might keep the same theme, just paint it different, because the Two-Face theme's gone over pretty big. So, I don't know what I can do yet. I'll come up with something though. But anybody wants to follow us on the Glaser Racing Facebook page. Anytime we do stuff like that, we post progress pictures of it. So you can follow along on the Facebook page to see what kind of changes we're going to do to it.
All right. Okay, now we're at the fun question portion of the interview to finish off this interview. Ready for some fun questions?
Sure.
If someone was like, hey, Aaron, here's $200 million. I want you to build me a brand new drag race track. Where would you think about building a brand new drag race track, and what kind of features would you want to put into this new track?
Heck, if I was going to build one, I'd build one right here in my hometown just so it's close to me. I mean, in all seriousness, Louisville, I think it's a good market because you got a lot of big cities there within a couple-hour drive. You got Nashville and Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Lexington. There's a lot of big towns that are reasonably close. So, this could potentially be a good market for a big drag strip. And, as far as new drag strips, I think Galot's got some cool features that I've been really impressed with, and some of it's for the fans. Their bleachers are all individual seats, and it's just nice having an individual seat to sit in. It's a lot more comfortable than traditional bleachers. So, if that unlimited pockets do something like that, the scoreboards at Galot are phenomenal. I mean, you can read them really well. Some of these tracks you go to, you have a hard time reading the scoreboards and seeing who won and seeing the numbers. And they've got phenomenal LED scoreboards. The stuff at the Traction Twins and those boys do out at Brandomere with the water systems under the track to help heat and cool the track. That's awesome performance wise. And then there's some racer comforts that are really nice. Galot, one thing they did, they put a dump station for the racers. So, we've all got RVs, and most of us that stay at the track. So, you can dump your RV tanks before you leave the track. And, having a nice flat pit area means a lot to the racers. And, having nice flat tracks, because the other thing about these cars are so low to the ground, you go to some tracks, and potholes and the ground's uneven, and you half rip the front end off your car trying to get up the staging lane. So, from a racer standpoint, gotta make it
right
accessible for the competitors.
Yep. So now, Aaron, do you have any hobbies outside of drag racing?
Nope, this is it. This is it. There's other stuff I like to do. Like I said, I got boys, so me and my oldest boy getting into kayaking. We try to go kayaking when we can. My son plays basketball, so we're always outside shooting basketball, and I love being outdoors, so I'm always doing something outdoors with my boys. But racing like we do, we don't have time for anything else. I mean, we race. That's just what we do. And like I said, my kid running the junior, I got a top sportsman car and a pro mod car, and then we got a super stalker, and we've actually got a bracket dragster that we don't run very much, but when there's no other racing going on, we got just a bracket car we take out just to run local Saturday night races. So, maintenance and all that stuff and racing, it don't leave much time for anything else. So like I said, that's it for us.
So you don't ever go fishing?
Nope, I don't fish and don't hunt, and I'd like to do some of that stuff. To be honest with you, it's kind of relaxing. I mean, I got fishing poles, and me and my boy will go, but it's like every other year. It seems like we get time to go out fishing. Just we're either at the racetrack or we're at the race shop working on the cars. This weekend's our weekend off. We don't have a race, and I'll be up there all day Saturday putting the motor back together. Like the Pro Mod motor, we got it stripped down, so I'll be all day Saturday putting it back together, getting in the car, firing it up, setting timing, getting valve lash, getting all that done. And then Sunday, I guess this is the first time I got to make it public, but I'm painting my kid's car Sunday because he's got a really nice paint job on it, but the two-face thing went over pretty big, so we're going to do something similar to his car. We're going to graffiti it all up and repaint his, so, come the next race, he'll have a different paint job on his car.
Yeah.
And that's our typical. That's typical for us. Just like I said, if we're not at the track, we're at the race shop, maintenance and preparing, and just working, trying to make our program better.
Yeah, like you were saying, yeah, fishing's very relaxing. It'd be nice to be able to relax, after all this running around and racing and all that, to just relax out there by the water.
Oh yeah.
Now you guys got some big largemouth bass out there in Kentucky, man.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of fishing out here, and it's if you're into it, there's some fishing and nice lakes and ponds around here. A lot of my buddies, that's what they're into, the fishing, and they got the lake houses and the boats, and a lot of my buddies, that's what they do. And it'd be fun to do, but like I said, every weekend in the summertime, I'm either racing or working on race cars, so I just don't have the time to do it.
So now, since you've been doing the pro mod racing, who's been your greatest competitor?
To be honest with you, myself, just learning the car and trying to get it there, because, like I said, we haven't hired crew chiefs and tuners and all this stuff. we're trying to figure it all out on our own. And we got some great guys. Jeff Pierce is giving us a little advice, and Billy Albert, and we got some guys helping us. But the hardest part, it's not the other guys beating up on me. It's trying to figure it out. Trying to figure it out how to get down the track consistently and make repeatable runs. I'd love to get on the playing field where I can compete with the Tommy Franklins and Stevie Jacksons of the world. That's the ultimate goal. Those guys right now, they're in my eyes, they're the pinnacle of pro mod. So that's the dream and the goal. Try to get to the point where I can just be on a level playing field with them and be able to compete with those guys.
Right. So now, Aaron, what's your favorite food to eat?
I love Mexican food. I don't know. Give me a good taco, good burrito, and I'll get down on that stuff. Get down on that stuff. It's I'm a race car driver, so I need to drop a few pounds and help lighten the car up a little bit. But I love food too much. Man, give me good Mexican food or a good old greasy pizza, and man, I'll go to town.
Now, what's your favorite beverage to drink?
I'm from Kentucky, so we drink bourbon around here.
How about non-alcoholic?
I drink water. That's about all I drink. I try to stick to water. I used to drink a lot of Cokes, but that stuff's unhealthy for you, so I guess I'm kind of boring. I'll just stick to water.
So, what would be your favorite music?
I listen to about anything. I don't know. My taste changed a lot. I'll go through a phase where I'll listen to some rap and hip hop, and go to a phase where I'll listen to some old time rock and roll, and right now I've been listening to a lot of country. I like Jamie Johnson and that kind of stuff. Aaron Lewis. Those guys kind of got that old time country sound, and they're putting out some pretty cool stuff. So I'm listening to that a lot right now.
So now, do you have a favorite movie of all time?
The movie that we watch the most right now is all the superhero movies. Like I said, I got boys, so the Transformers and the Avengers and all that stuff. That stuff's cool. I mean, I guess I'm still a kid at heart, but man, I like watching the Avengers, and like I said, the Transformers series is pretty cool. And sit and watch that stuff with my boys. That's the stuff I watch now. But my wife calls me a nerd, though. I guess all time great is Back to the Future. I grew up watching the Back to the Future trilogy, so. That's got to be up there in one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, we got the box set over here. My wife's got actually the trilogy.
Yep, I got a copy of the trilogy at home, and if you ask my little boy, it's Sandlot. I've watched Sandlot. I've watched it so much because he's into baseball. My little one is that I could probably recite that movie front to back now.
So now, if people that are listening to the interview want to find out where you're going to be at, what's the Glaser Racing page would be the best way?
Yeah, follow us on the Glaser Racing Facebook page. I mean, at the track, sometimes it's hard to keep it really updated, depending on how busy we are at the track, but, we always post stuff throughout the week of kind of what we're doing to the cars and try to keep everybody up to date with what we're doing update-wise, and if we paint stuff, and we do a weekend recap after the week's over, race is over, letting everybody know how we did and how the weekend was. And, that's the best way to follow us is, the Glaser Racing Facebook page.
Okay, well, Aaron, I want to thank you very much for taking time to interview me. You got any final words for everyone listening in?
No, man, I appreciate you calling me up, and appreciate you doing the interview. And like I said, man, I just love fast door car racing. That's what it's all about. So, and any of your listeners, they see us at the track, come over and say hi. We'll sit and chat.
Yeah, bring the kids out, throw the kids in the driver's seats.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like I said, I got kids, so my kids are always at the track. And I mean, if anybody brings their kids to the track, come on over to my pit. I've got Hot Wheels strung everywhere, Power Wheels and scooters, and I mean, it's a family thing for us. So, yeah, bring your kids over. We'll throw them in the car, throw them in a junior, and take some pictures. And like I said, it's the drag strip. It's a good family environment. It's a good place to raise your kids. That's where I was growing up, and that's where I'm bringing my kids up at.
Yep. Well, thanks again for taking time, Aaron, and I wish you the best of luck with the racing season.
Yep. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
No problem. We'll do another one in the future.
Yep. We'll talk soon. soon, man.
Hopefully we'll talk about some big wins.
That's right. Yep. We'll try it. We'll get us one for the year's out. We'll get us one somewhere.
All right, you have a great night, Aaron.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.